Okay, well, great. I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to welcome everyone to the, I guess it would be called the 2012 Nicholls Signing Day Press Conference. And again, these are always exciting days for us. And first of all, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come. And I really do appreciate your support and interest in the football program. I know that many of you right now, we're going to try to, as you get to know me, I am a schedule guy, and I'm going to try to stay on schedule because I know some of you are sacrificing your lunch hour to be here with us. So hopefully what we've done is tried to curb your appetite a little bit here, make you more comfortable, and hopefully we accomplished that. I have special thanks out, and some of the people may not be able to attend today. But first of all, a special thanks to Jimmy Blakeman and Canadas. They help us in our football program tremendously throughout the whole year, and they donated all that food back there, and there's more around the corner there, so we got to eat it before you guys leave. So again, we appreciate that, the Canadas and Jimmy Blakeman. Also, Don Duran from Crescent Crown helped me a lot with some of the waters and everything like that. So again, I appreciate that. All that was just donated out of the goodness of their heart. We appreciate it. Well, let's talk a little bit about recruiting, first of all. The recruiting process, I want you to know, is a team effort. Again, many of you may not understand official visits. But again, I appreciate all the help. Many of you in this room helped us to make these official visits go great when we bring these young men to our campus. Things that we do for them. We have so many different presentations that go on. We have academic presentations. We have philosophy presentations. We have tours of the facilities, not just athletic, but also the university. We have so many people that contribute and help us in that cause. The biggest thing I try to do in the official visit is give them an overview, not just of the football program, but the entire university. So I really appreciate all the help that others give to making these be very successful in information for these young men and their parents. The next thing, I appreciate our support staff. And what I'm talking about is like Kerry Connor. I think many of you understand young people today. When he does his presentation on our equipment, our uniforms, and all those kind of things, believe it or not, that's what kids look at. And so he does a great job presenting all the things that we have to offer here at Nicholls. Also appreciate our strength and conditioning program as they give their presentations, so we show these young men when they come here how we really can get them in tremendous shape and really reshape their bodies and get them so that they can play this physical game. The next, of course, is Krista Byers and her staff in the athletic training, showing that we can take care of these young men if something unforeseen happens with injuries and things like that, that we can get them with the proper rehab and get them back as soon as possible, but we can take care of them. So those are people that I really do appreciate greatly as they did their presentations. Now, we've also had some staff changes and some different realignment on the staff right now. And so I'm going to bring the coaches up here because I just want to tell you what some of them's new titles are right now, and also thank them for all their efforts. So if all of you will come up here right now, and then I can just, because I know some of you give that token wave back there, but I want people to really know who you are. First of all, I want to appreciate all these men helping me in our recruiting efforts. I mean, like I said, this is not no one-man show. They help tremendously. First, I'd like to introduce Coach Chuck Heppola. Chuck, his role is associate head coach, recruiting coordinator, and he coaches our running backs. And again, he does a great job with our recruiting efforts. I mean, with all the organization, I really do appreciate all the time and effort that he does. Coach Jeremy Atwell. Coach Atwell has been promoted to assistant head coach, and he's also my defensive coordinator and coaches our linebackers. Coach Justin Anderson coaches our wide receivers, and again, we're going into the third year together. Appreciate him. Coach Ricky Brumfield is my special teams coordinator and coaches our safeties. Coach Mario Gabriel, Coach Mario is our offensive line coach. He was promoted. I want to say something about this young man. He came in here 2 years ago as really our offensive graduate assistant. But this young man, I think some of you know him and have worked with him. He has a tremendous work ethic. And when the opening came available, I interviewed him. But there's a guy that he will run through a wall for this program. He's got a tireless worker. his kids, our players respond to him well, I know he'll do a great job. I use this story with everybody. I said, Mario, you've been on a job interview for 2 years with me. You know what I mean? And when they do that, you know a whole lot about them. And I also try to teach our players that every time they play out there, you're really on a job interview. There's somebody watching you out there, like the way you react maybe to adversity or good things and just the extra effort that you show. But Mario, he earned it, and he's our offensive line coach. Coach Edward Dillon, we're beginning the 3rd year also. He coaches our cornerbacks. Coach Adam Gardner coaches our tight ends. And then we added Coach Michael Walker. Michael, you may remember him. He was a former player for us last season. He's in graduate school right now getting his master's in MBA, right, Mike?
That's it.
Okay, and he's he's a defensive graduate assistant. Now, most recently, we hired a new defensive line coach. I'd like to introduce Tyler Donaldson. Tyler, right there, let me tell you a little bit about him. He comes to us from down the road, Louisiana Monroe. He was a defensive graduate assistant there, but he had really a tremendous amount of responsibility with their defensive front. But the other thing about him, he's originally from Atlanta, Georgia. He played at the University of New Mexico. During that time at New Mexico, he was named All-Conference. It was in the Mountain West Conference, first team defensive lineman. You understand? He can play the game. And also, they were in bowl games both times. And so he understands what it takes winning, and he also understands to put his hand in the ground and be a great player. And again, we're super excited that he's joined us. So again, you guys can go seated now. Appreciate it. Some of them ask, does that mean we can go eat now? No. Okay, every year we have a motto that we go with. I think my very first year is What's Our Name? Last year's One Team, One Goal. This year our motto for this year is Band of Brothers. And again, I try to teach our players, coaches, everybody involved that we can accomplish greatness when we all come together and play as one and just work together as one. So that's what we're working for. I want to give you a little, so many of you were here at the very first press conference I ever had in signing day. I can remember it. It was over there at the Hampton Inn. And what happened there, when I was standing before you, I already had, on this squad, our existing squad, we only had 56 players. 56 is all I had. And then we were signing a few guys that day. Well, now I'm proud to say, when we go out today, we're going to have a team meeting at 3 o'clock today, and we're going to have a team run. We have 84 kids in the program right now. 84. So the thing I'm just trying to promote, what we try to do as coaches, is we want to retain these kids. We don't want it to be a revolving door all the time here. We want to have kids that we can coach and get them better as they work towards not just being great football players, but also being earning their degrees. So again, we're pleased with that. Okay, the next thing, just things that I show these kids when I recruit them. First of all, I believe in a lot of motivational slogans, but coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. If you go into the Barker building, you'll see a whole lot of things that just talk about team, and that's what it's all about. Next, one of the things that we want all the time, we want to have that energy. And we live by this. Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the fastest lion or it will be killed. Every morning a lion wakes up. It knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be running. That's what we try to live by. I mean, from academics, to weight room, all the things that we do, we just try to do it with energy. In fact, today at 5:45, we'll have 12 of our young men and some coaches going to an elementary school doing community service. So we try to teach them the whole package. Okay, next, I'm going to announce in a few minutes 14 young men, and this is the first stage of our recruiting that have taken advantage of this little statement here. The great secret of success in life is for a man to be ready when his opportunity comes. And these young men, chose to sign with Nicholls. And we're super excited about that, and I know absolutely that they made the right choice. The one thing that we do in our presentations also is that we try to teach them it's a privilege to be a colonel. Sometimes kids nowadays don't understand that. They think entitlement. It's a privilege. So I tell them it's a privilege to be a colonel. It's a privilege to be a student athlete here at Nicholls. And it's a very important privilege to be a role model for others. And it comes with the territory. So, right now, many of you may know this. Example, it's a privilege. Even these kids that are sitting in the audience right now, some of them are our players on our team. There couldn't have been no more than at least 20 phone calls to my office this morning of kids looking for a home. They're looking for a university to play ball right now. There's thousands across the country. So when these young men get this opportunity, it truly is a privilege. Now, in our recruiting philosophy, we search for the right young men. We want young men that are exceptional students and athletes. We want them to have a motor, a great work ethic. The next thing, I want high character and discipline. I want guys that hopefully come from structured programs where they understand how to do things. Because I want to make sure we get and develop more and more great leaders. One thing about football, it's a tough game. Many of you in this audience play football. It's tough. It's tough to practice, it's tough to play, it's tough to prepare. But you got to love what you do. If they really, and I really sat across that table with their parents, and I looked in all 14 of these guys' eyes for sure, and they want to be great football players, and they know what it takes, and they love football. Now, I want to tell you a couple of NCAA rules that you might not be aware of. One is this is the first step in our recruiting process, even for this year. This is the first step. We signed 14 young men today. Now, the thing I want you to know, we have a couple of young men right now, this is NCAA rules, that we could even be right now, there could be fax copies of their NCAA on our fax machine right now. But by NCAA rules, since I didn't receive them by now, they can't be in the presentation. You understand? So in the next few days, you may hear some announcements on that. But if everything's not, the I's aren't dotted, you can't do it. So we'll have some more in the very near future. Now, the other thing to note is by NCAA rules, today was the first day you could sign National Letter of Intents. You could sign National Letter of Intents all the way up till April 1st. You understand? And then after April 1st, you can sign financial aid agreements from there on all the way up until. So this is the first stage of our recruiting effort. I always choose this, and I feel like it's the right thing at this level. I choose to keep some of my funds not in my pocket, but accessible. Because there's things that I'm looking for. There's a few young men we're high on right now, but I wanted to do a little bit more research before I offered them a scholarship. That's one group. The next thing is there's transfers. What I mean by transfers, there's junior college transfers, and there's also transfers from FBS programs that I really believe will be headed our way shortly. Okay? The next thing, too, I want to reward some of the young men already in our program. I think many of you understand the rules. Right now, basically, I have 63 scholarships to divide over 85 young men. So I really believe in rewarding guys that I have in our program right now. Because some of the young men, you can do the math, are on partial scholarships. So if I see a young man who's not just playing great football, but making great contributions, at the university and all that, then I will take some of the funds and elevate theirs. And that's what I like to do. And I think that the players will really know that I do that, and I really want to keep that philosophy. Then the last thing, if you really followed us last year, we had some injuries. We had some significant injuries. I think all injuries are significant, but some more than others. And right now, I wanted to keep a few scholarships back because I want to see how things go the next few months with some of our young men. It's not like anything will happen to their scholarship, but we may have some young men that were hurt pretty good where they might not be able to play this fall even. And if that's the case, then I've got to be able to make sure I field the football team, and get the most strength I can. So those are things that I just wanted you to know right now as we get into this. Now, what's going to happen right now, again, I appreciate all our coaches putting all this information together. And I'm going to show I'm going to talk briefly about each young man. You can follow along in your little printout because it's in the same order. We'll also show a few video clips of each young man making a few plays. And Coach Gabrielle will use his laser pointer to point out to the guy, because I know you'll see 22 guys running around so you can focus on it. And we'll go from there. So if you'll just, I guess the first thing I'd like to say about this signing class is that I'm pleased with it. I really believe, I know for sure, I don't believe it, I know it. This is the best quality we have of players. We've signed them 14 today that they can play the game. The next thing, too, that I'm super excited about is that when we do our presentations, they understand what we expect of them. I think sometimes I talk to the coaches. I think I think it's good, but we do scare some people away. We do. And what I'm talking about is we present everything. We say you're in class every day. We say that mandatory study hall. We say that you're going to work towards your degree. We talk about behavior on and off the field. We talk about representing the university and colonels 24/7. And unfortunately, some guys walk out of there and go, I don't want nothing to do with that. And that's fine. We didn't lose anything in the first place. But we do spell it all out. Okay. All right. Okay, first of all, we signed 2 mid-year athletes right now. And you understand that. They're already in school. And they're here. They're going to class. They're participating in our strength and conditioning program. Everything's going awesome. Okay, the first one is a linebacker, Chris Berman. He's from Pearl River Community College, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. You can read there. He was first team in high school at Hancock, first team 6A All-State and All-District as a senior, earned second team 6A All-State as a... Okay, I'll just take it from there. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, anyway, at Pearl River, he was named all-conference as a freshman and a sophomore. And again, we're super excited. He will give us that inside pressure and contact. He's an inside linebacker for us. So let's go ahead and take a look at Chris. And Coach Mario will point him out there. Okay. The next young man is Anthony McLean. Anthony McLean. Anthony's a cornerback. He comes from Dorman High School there in Spartanburg, South Carolina, if you know where that's at. Coahoma Community College, which is located in Mississippi. And again, excellent football player. You can read that. I won't read everything for you. But the biggest thing is that we graduated 2 cornerbacks that were pretty much our starters the last couple of years. He's really a lockdown corner type. I really believe he plays a lot taller than 5'11", which is a lot of times in our conference we play some big receivers. So we're pleased to have Anthony, and he's already on campus. We like that. Okay, now we'd like to introduce our defensive signees. Okay, and start first with our defensive line. Okay. Okay, we got Jared Bro. Jared's from down the bayou, right? Down the bayou. Okay, Central Lafourche. Again, he's an excellent football player. We're super excited to have him join us. He plays with a real motor. And the thing that I mean, we did these bios, and I'm reading it. It's kind of a nice mixture there. We got a defensive lineman that's a great golfer. I don't understand that combination that much, but maybe if we have a benefit golf, maybe I'll play with it or something like that to help us out. But anyway, he does a tremendous job, and this is what Jared played. We feel like he'll play an inside position for us in our defensive front. Very athletic. He played in the Bayou River All-Star Classic also. Super excited to have him as part of the program. Next, another defensive lineman. We have Andrew Hebert, 6'2", 260 from Catholic New Iberia. Again, we're super excited to have him as part of our program. And again, he was got all kinds of accolades all through all states and all that. And he's also a state champion in powerlifting as a junior. Okay. Next, we signed a junior college young man, Lorenzo Young. Lorenzo's 6'2", 275, originally from the Houston area, Cisco Junior College. Again, he was an all-conference performer. He was by far the best defensive lineman on their team, and he played all the positions up front. They moved him around just wherever they needed him to play each game. He was teammates with Eddie Udo, who's presently on our team right now. Okay, next we get into our linebackers. We have Cameron Brown. Cameron comes to us from the Southern Lab in Baton Rouge. He was all conference or all district as a tight end and a linebacker. He's going to be a linebacker for us. He's an excellent track runner also, and Coach Atwell looks to play him at an outside linebacker position because we run a 3-4 defense. Let's see Cameron. That was him as an offensive player there, that catch right there. But again, right now we're looking at him strictly as a defensive player. The next young man, Chris Norton from John Curtis Christian there in New Orleans. We already have some young men on our team that have done a tremendous job in our program. He brings a lot, and he's a classic example. Comes from a program that's highly structured, comes from a program that's highly successful. He's played in big games. He knows what it takes to win championships and work towards it. I really believe he brings more than just his playing ability. He also will bring leadership to our team and help in that regard. But he also can really play the game. We're going to use him. You'll see him on film here as a defensive lineman, but Coach Atwell's going to use him as a linebacker to start off with. And let's watch him play a little bit. Chris Norton. he could play the game. You should have seen a lot. We had about 50 more clips like that. I mean, you could see there, they won the state this year, 18 sacks, 68 total tackles, 15 tackles for loss. And I know Coach Bill Parcells used to say this, especially about defensive players. If they don't bite when they're puppies, they're never going to bite. Well, he can bite, and that's what we need on our football team. Okay. Next, we go to our offensive signees. Okay, offensive line. Okay. First, we signed a junior college, a young man, Joe Bonner, 6'5", 335. He carries it real well. You'll see on the film he can run. And he's come from, they call it Colin Community College, is how they say it. Again, great young man. I really believe he's going to be a super player for us. We're looking at him, of course, as a tackle in our offense. Let's just take a look at Joe. See him running down the field here. Okay, very good. Okay, next we're very excited to get another young man from down the bayou, Gary Bruce, offensive lineman from South Lafourche High School, from Cutoff. Again, he was all district, and he was named outstanding offensive lineman on their team 3 times, and he also played in the Bayou River All-Star Classic. Gary Bruce. Very athletic lineman. What we're trying to do is, again, you can see we signed a few offense and defensive linemen in this class, and again, super excited about him. Okay, next, we got a young man, Brandon Holmes. Brandon's from Estacada High School in Lubbock, and they kind of sought us out too. It was kind of a mutual thing, but the young man is a 3-time All-State, well, the 3A All-State 2 times, earned all kinds of accolades. A very good student also. And again, what we're trying to do is get some, I want nice kids kind of, but I need some nastiness on our team a little bit more. And what we say is we want our O-line to be like dirtbags, right?
Yes,
dirtbags. They got to be a little bit of getting in there and getting after it. Then we try to put a few clips, and you can see him. He kind of gets after it a little bit. Number 72 there. He's always looking for extra things to do. Yeah, so he's voted most likely to start a fight our first practice. All right. Okay. Next, our running back. Right now, in our running back core, I feel very good about it. It's not like we're not open to things. So I feel like we got an excellent running back here. Michael Henry's a bigger back, which is what we were looking for. He's 6'2", 215 from Episcopal High School there in Baton Rouge. He got all kinds of accolades, as you'll see. He's a tremendous student, too. And, you know, we just wanted to, we got a nice selection of backs. Some are smaller than others, but we wanted one with a little bit more punch when we can definitely get in those goal line and short yardage situations. Let's just take a look at Michael. I really believe we got a great football player right there. Super to have him. Okay, receivers. What we wanted to do at receivers is just add to our young guys who are developing well. but we wanted to add to what we were looking for, me and Coach Anderson. We wanted a little bit more ranginess. So you can see both of these young men are 6'3" plus, so that helps in this conference playing against sometimes smaller defensive backs. First one is Von Bro. Von is 6'3", 185 from Northside High School in Lafayette. Again, a great, very good receiver, great track guy. So again, we're very pleased with him. He catches the ball well with his hands. And again, you know, we can't wait to get a chance to work with him. Okay. The next young man is Eric Buchanan. Eric's from Itawamba Community College in Mississippi. He's 6'3", 205. He's a junior college. He will be in. He'll complete all his coursework by May and then get here right away. Again, excellent speed. The video, you can see he's got all kinds of accolades too. The video you'll see from here is from his high school days. I'm pretty sure of that, right, Coach Anderson?
Yes, sir.
The high school? Okay, let's just take a look at Eric. He can really go. He's a big receiver, 6'3", 205. Okay, very good. Okay, next, our quarterbacks. And I signed one young quarterback right now. And his name, he goes by Dash Duncan. It's Christopher Dash Duncan. Big kid, 6'4", 200. Great student. I mean, tremendous student from St. Michael the Archangel. I think I'm presenting that right. From Baton Rouge. But anyway, he is more of a, I would say, a pocket quarterback. I want to be able to stand in the pocket and throw the football some, okay? And he brings us that. Many of you will probably, you know, all these high school quarterbacks, a lot of them have a quarterback guru kind of around, right? Well, the guy that works with him is Tommy Hodson. Many of you know Tommy from around here, from Central Nafoosh. Well, Tommy gave me all kinds of glowing recommendations from the work he's done with him, but the kid's a very good player too. So let's take a look at Dash. He's got a real strong arm. And again, his senior year numbers weren't quite, because he broke his clavicle. And I think he played 8 games. And but the year before, you can see he threw for over 3,000 yards. So we're super excited to have him in our program. Okay? Now, in conclusion, just to tell you a few things. And in the near future, you will, in fact, we're trying to do it tomorrow, release our 2012 schedule. You know, we've got all the contracts in and everything like that, so we want to release that tomorrow and make it official. We'll also have a real release up to date with a little bit more than what I just showed you here about the new coaching staff arrangements and titles, and also any changes. The next thing that's going on right now, I mentioned to you, is our off-season strength and conditioning program. It's already in full swing, so we're working hard with that right now. The next thing is spring practice begins on March 21st, which is Wednesday. We'll start that, and that will be always on our website. You can check on anything, and we try to keep that as accurate as possible so that you can follow up with us. Again, I appreciate you coming. I know that we've got a tremendous amount of food still left, so if you want a little bit more and want to just visit some more, all the coaches will be here to talk to you and spend more time with you. But I appreciate this, and again, over the next few weeks, we'll be able to release more information on additions to this signing class. But I know that we got a very good start today, and I appreciate you coming. Thank you.